All right, and we're live. Welcome, welcome. Oh, didn't mean to open my trash bin. Discord. Why? Go over to the other screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Cool. So today, the plan is simple. We're going to continue on with the to-do app inside of my own stack, the BenStack, if you will. So off stream, I did a little bit of extra work. I created some routes for sign up or sign in and sign out. Sign up, sign in, sign out. I don't know if I did the sign up on stream or not. I don't think I did, but it all works. So I'll demo it out for the VOD here. So if we go to, I just need to start up the server. So let's do that. pnpm run dev API. Okay. And then we'll do another pnpm run db studio. And then that should work. The only thing, I was having trouble opening it in Brave. So I might need to actually open it in Chrome. I might need to get a Chrome instance here. And open it there. Unless it doesn't want to work. There we go. Okay, cool. So you can see here we have a user. So for sake of example, let's delete this user. I only do have the backend implemented right now. So if I sign up, right, I can sign up with an email and a password, which the backend's only going to care that there's an email and password. The password and confirm password stuff will all be handled client side. Like I'm going to be using a Zod schema on the client side to do that kind of validation. And then the server is only going to care about the email, getting the email and the password. Right, so that's assuming this is all valid on the client side, right? So we're going to send a post to sign up for user@example.com and password of password. So we send that, and then we get a success, and then when we refresh this guy, we can see our user and password here, and it's hashed using the Argon 2 plugin. So we've got that going, and then we can sign in with the same credentials. So signing in, what signing in will do is it'll generate a session for us if the credentials are right. So there we go. It says it was successful, and then you can see here's a session. The user ID is BBF39. You can see that matches here, BBF39. And it also has an expiry of an hour into the future, so that makes sense because it's 1907 now, and it expires at 2007 today. So that's cool. And I can also sign out. And I don't think I need to post anything if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, I have to post the email. I think I just post the email. So I sign out with the specific email, right? And then from that, I get so I have the email. So if I sign out, it'll then delete this session, right? So that's good. So I did all that off stream because I honestly, on stream, I'm kind of sick of doing off stuff a little bit. I think it's a little tired at this point. So anyway, there's a demo for the VOD. The only thing I need to do left here with the backend is I need to have a verification for a session, right? So I need to, if I get my Obsidian here, create route to verify session for user auth. So I need to check that the session, a session for a user exists and it's not expired, right? And then what I should also do in here is delete any expired sessions, right? So that's the other thing I should do within this as well. And then after that, we're going to work on the API client, which is kind of that compatibility layer between the front end and back end. So that's good. So we're going to work on this now. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to check while I'm in here. I don't think so. So that's good. So we're gonna work on that then. Is there anything else I need specifically? Because I already created a route or not a route. I already created a query inside of here to delete sessions based, or delete all user sessions, okay. But then I should also probably have a delete session by ID query as well. So db delete session by session ID, right? And then that's going to be good for, because if we yeah, because if we get, like, when we're verifying the session, we need to actually make another query to get all user sessions, right? Get all sessions for user, and then these are kind of like, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. These are kind of prerequisite to this API functionality, right? So we can write these two queries now. So we'll do export constant select, or get, let's just do select all sessions by, select all user sessions. And then we're going to need the user ID as well. And I'm also just using the type that's created from the schema here, which I don't know how good of practice that is. Probably not the best, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so then now we're going to put this one up top because that's what we're going to be doing. So we need to get the, I'm going to get the drizzle documentation open. Drizzle ORM. All right, and then we're going to go into query data and then the select stuff here just to have as a reference. So I'm going to do my try catch as well. Again, I don't really have perfect, well, this is far from perfect error handling, but this is just an example project. So there's probably you know, a better way of handling query errors that I can look into for future. So that's good. So okay, let's do a select. So we'll say const user sessions equals await db dot select. We want to select all of the from sessions, from session. We want to select all of the fields, right? And then dot where, and I kind of want to like put this on a separate line so it's cleaner. So I'll do it like this. And then we'll say dot where equals session dot user ID is equal to user ID, right? And then we're going to say return user sessions. And then that should give us like a list, right? Yeah. I'm doing well, Meryl. How are you? I also don't know if I'm saying your name right either. Or if I could call you just like Bana. I don't know. Still figuring out YouTube usernames. But I'm doing well. It's a pretty hot Monday where I am, but you know, I hope you had a good day and good evening, good morning, wherever it is where you are. All right. So we got our user sessions. We return them. So I don't think I need to. For some reason, it's not making me check if it's not defined. Maybe because it's, I don't know. All right. So that's that query. Select all user sessions. And then we're going to do a export const delete session by ID. And session ID is going to be session type ID. Should we just call it ID? Just to be clear. And then we'll do our try catch as well. Yo, Satyam, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I'm doing well. I'm feeling better, feeling much better. I still have a bit of a you know, scratchy throat or whatever, but you know, I'm like 96% better, I would say. So yeah, all right, so that's good. So delete session by ID. So this is going to be a very simple query as well. So we're going to say, it's going to be very similar to this. So we're going to say const deleted session is await db.delete session dot where and then equals session dot id and then id, and then return deleted session. Oh, and then I also want to do dot. I think I have to do dot. Wait, what is it? I think it's dot returning. I think that's the other thing I need here. Yes. Oh, and I also need to check. So if there's no ID given, we can just return as well. Where am I from? I'm from Canada. You can read a little bit about me here if you want. Okay, so that's good. So we have these two queries. I'm assuming that's not what I wanted to do. I'm assuming they work. I mean, we'll test them later, but for now, I'm gonna hold off on moving them out of the in progress here, just in case they don't work. But I'll move this back up. Yo, how's it going, Juan? Welcome. Okay, so that's good. And then what do I need next? Yeah. So I need that validation or verification route. So I'm going to do that inside of the, oh, the other thing I need to do is I need to export my queries here. So delete session by ID and delete all users. So delete session by ID and select all user sessions. And then I need to export those. There we go. And then now that's accessible to our database API here because I'm just exporting all the queries. So my name's Arabic, but I like how you say that, this Omar. Oh, it's Omar. Omar Albana. I got you. Omarl. I was saying Omarl or Merrill. Omar. Gotcha. But I'll remember Arabic. Oh, your name is Arabic, in Arabic. Oh my god. I'm so tired. Yes, okay, your name is in Arabic. Okay, sorry. Okay. It's also really hot in my apartment. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that. Anyway, sorry. You still doing the Odin Project? Yeah, so I'm taking a bit of a break on the Odin Project one. So I am essentially, I took a pivot because I wanted to create my own tech stack called BenStack, you know, coincidentally or not. Well, you say I like it? Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so I created my own tech stack, and now I'm creating just a basic to-do app to test my tech stack, and then I'm going to go back to Odin Project. I only have a couple things left for that, but if you want to see what I'm working on, I've got a Pastebin here with an explanation of what I'm doing. And I was finding that like the little Nightbot response wasn't a lot. So I put it into a Pastebin because I can put a lot more information in there. So, yeah. All right. So let's get back to it. So now that these queries are accessible to our API through the database API, right? So a lot of APIs going on. So we're going to do a verify post as well, I think, because we need to get the oh, and the other thing I need to do in the sign in, actually I forgot about this. I need to add this to my to-do. I think I need to do this first. Is API is in sign-in route set session token as browser cookie, right? That's the other thing I need to do. So maybe that takes more precedence. So let's make that change first. So we need to set that cookie, right? So this is fine. I'm gonna move this over here, and then I need to do cookies. Cookie. All right, cookie helper. Okay, so we have a cookie helper with Hano here. Get cookie, get signed cookie, set cookie. Okay. So regular cookies. I don't think it doesn't need to be signed or anything like that. I don't need to. I'm not really worried about it being signed. So let's do that. Oh, we also have to delete the cookies too in the sign out as well. Okay, so let's do the set cookies here. All right, so then this is my sign in post. We get the body, and then from the email we get the user record. If the user record doesn't exist, we throw an exception. We check whether the passwords match, and then if they do match, we generate a session. And then these are just helper functions I created. Okay, so if the session exists, before we return OK, we need to set the cookie. Create or set session as cookie, right? So we need to do that first. Okay. So let's do that. So we have the context, I think, and then great cookie. So what's the API here? Cookie name, cookie value. Okay, so that's good. So we'll say set cookie, and then we'll import that guy. And then we have the context, the name. We're gonna say we'll say token, session token, and then the value is gonna be session token, which should be a string, right? Yeah. Okay. And then we need to give it some properties as well. So we can do that. We can say the path is just at the root. I don't see why not. Secure. I'm not sure what the secure does. Following best practices. Cookie name starts with secure, but secure option is not set. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Yo, Jay, how's it going? I did a little bit of off-stream work. I'm not gonna lie. So we're finishing up auth, but I created the sign in and sign out, sign up, sign in, sign out loop, and it works. Just on the API side, it doesn't work. I haven't hooked it up to the front end yet, but it does work. I did a little demo at the very, very beginning of the stream for the VOD watchers, mainly, and anyone who wants to see that. So it does work. Okay. So I'm not sure about these cookie options. Yeah, it was very good. I will say, I love streaming, but it is faster to do things off stream. But I love streaming. But yeah, cookie options. Oh, HTTP. Jesus Christ. I was like, what the hell? Okay, there we go. Using HTTP cookies. I don't know why I didn't give it context. Honestly, I don't know much about coding, so in simple words, can you explain what I'm doing? Okay, so basically, let me try and do this in like a minute. I'm learning web development. Web development has 1,000 plus, that's an understatement, different tools that you can use. And all those tools, I was overwhelmed. with options, okay? And there were a lot of different solutions. So what I decided to do was to do my due diligence and find the tools that work for me. So I created my own stack of tools for building the front-end website, the back-end API, database, these sorts of things. I put them all together. I spent 5 or 6 hours putting them together. And now I'm building a demo to-do list app inside of my with my tech stack. That is essentially what I'm doing at a very high level. Like that's what I'm doing on this stream. Right now I'm getting authentication to work. So like users signing in and stuff like that. But right now I'm trying to set this cookie. I just want to see like what the attributes are here. Because I don't like know what, when I set secure to true, I don't know exactly what that's doing. I'm not going to really worry about it. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. I don't think I need a domain. Oh, I can even give the cookie an expiry as well. Interesting. This is max age. Is that max age in what, though? Immediately remove a cookie. Oh, okay. Permanent cookies are deleted after the date specified. Okay. That's fine. So, let's just leave it, let's just get rid of this. So we'll just leave it at that path. We could do an expires at, we have that helper function, generate expiry timestamp, or session expires at. We can just give it that, I think, right? And then we'll do an HTTP only as well, because it is an HTTP only cookie. I think that's fine. So now the cookie itself will expire, you know, when the session expires. Okay, so that's good. So we set the cookie, which I'm not going to be able to check, I don't think, until I get the front end working. Right? Because if it's just the back end, I don't think I can check, you know, because there's no client. I'm not sure. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Oh, you know what? No. I can check that in Postman, actually. Never mind. I think Postman has cookies somewhere. Yeah, cookies here. Okay, so that's cool. So I can check it in Postman. All right, so then when we delete, when we sign out, we want to remove the cookie, right? So remove session cookie, right? So that's the other thing we need to do. That's, I think it's delete cookie? Delete cookie. Delete cookie. And then we need to import that guy as well. And then context, and then we'll do token. I think that was what we called it, right? Session token. I should probably have like a variable for this cookie name somewhere. So I don't know where I could put that. I could put that at, I don't know. I should have like a exported constants or something. Like I could put an environment, but that's, I don't know. We were having issues with environment earlier. I'm just gonna put it up here for now. Temporary fix, maybe include in .env eventually. And then I'm just gonna do constant session cookie name is equal to session token, or token cookie name, session token cookie name. That's long. Session token name. Okay. And then we can now have this as a standard thing. Okay, good. All right, and then we need to do, I don't know if we need the same, if we need these things. Okay, returns the deleted value, that's fine. Okay. I don't think we need these attributes, do we? Because it just finds the, maybe we need the path. We could do the path. Or something, I don't know. Okay. So now, that should work. Okay, so we have our one user inside of our thing. So let me bring this over here. So we have our one user inside of Drizzle Studio here. So let's sign in with that user as well, again, and see if the cookie gets set. So we'll send, success, we got the cookie, here's the session token with the value, and then its expiry is at midnight 30, which is right, because 8:30 and then plus 4 hours because I'm in GMT -4, and then if I sign out, and then I don't need the password for that, then it removes the cookie. Perfect. Nice. All right. Awesome. So that was a pretty productive first session, I would say. I'm actually just going to do a little cheeky commit here. Just this one, though, I think. Because the other, we were working on the session verifier. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so then API will say set and delete session token as cookie. Say that. Okay. Oh wait, no, I don't want to commit that yet. I'm sorry, but it's essential sound of creaking fire. Yeah, it's actually rainfall, Omar, but yeah, it kind of sounds like that. If you don't like it, I can change it. I don't know if, you know, I have it just kind of as a background because I don't like to stream in like silence completely, but you know, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. The only reason I use this one is mostly because I haven't had any copyright issues, and I don't, you know, no idea what you're doing. I'm here to just listen to you. Oh, I appreciate that. How'd you find my stream then? Derv. I'm gonna call you Derv. Or Druv. It'd be Druv, wouldn't it? Maybe. Or Drew. Just scrolling, nice. I've finished assignment tonight training a machine learning model. Oh boy, that sounds like a joy. Just scrolling, yeah, interesting. I wonder then why it recommended my stream. Because I'm cool? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. We aren't using code yet, so it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, nice. Okay, so you're basically just like button pushing then. That's what kind of what I call it at work, because like at work I don't really code. It's just kind of like, you know, just button pushing. That's basically IT. It's like, okay, where's the setting that you need to press? Yeah, exactly. I wanted to try Linux, so today I have to search a lot about this stuff, so I guess that's why. Ah, got you. Interesting. Well, you know what? I appreciate that you're here. You know, even if you're not into coding, you know, we love to have you. And if you want to stick around, I really appreciate it. Yeah, Linux is great though. If I've done a little bit of Linux myself, but I'm using Mac OS right now. Sorry, I feel I annoyed you. No, not at all. No, not at all. I was just kind of explaining why it's there. I was explaining, because some people are like, oh, is that like something wrong with your headphones or whatever it is, or like, is it raining outside? So I just kind of explain what it is. I would turn it up, but I don't like to have it too loud. How dare I? Yeah. No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry if you felt like I was annoyed. It's also, I should mention, and for people that have been in my community for longer will remember that when I first moved here, the AC wasn't working. And now the AC broke again. So, and it's a really hot day. So the apartment's sitting at a toasty like 27, 28 degrees Celsius, which is too warm. That's like, what is that in Fahrenheit? Like 80, low 80s probably, 80, 82, something like that. 83. So it's really hot in here. So that's my excuse, even though it's probably not, but anyway, so that sucks. Apparently the whole cooler for the entire building is shot, so yeah. Wait, why did I just do that? Hold on. Do you want me to? I can. Just a second.
I just want to keep it calm.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Felix.
All right, I turned off my camera for a second because my girlfriend did not want to be on camera, so.
I don't handle saying no.
Okay. So, yeah, it's the cat's dinner time. Okay, so where were we here? With the database, we were doing our queries. Was there any others I needed? No. Now I think it's time to write the verify route. Right? I think that's what I was on. Set session tokens browser cookie. Good. Create route to verify session for user auth. Check if exists and not expired. Okay, so yeah, so I have to actually get the cookie as well. Get cookie. Okay, yeah, so we can do that. Ooh, do I have a cat? Yes, I do. We adopted an adult cat about a month ago.
Do kitty cam.
Kitty cam? Yeah, maybe sometime. Huh?
Show them the cat.
Well.
Bring him over.
Okay. Wait. All right. Do you want to pause here? I can do a cat reveal. Do you want me to do a cat reveal?
Just make sure you hold his butt.
Yeah, I will. Hold on. Okay, I'll do a cat reveal. Just a second. Okay, let's get him. All right.
Hold his butt. There you go.
Here he is. His name is Felix. He doesn't really like to be held. But yeah. All right. He does not want to be held anymore. Okay. All right, buddy. You're good. There. Cat reveal. Okay. But yeah. So we adopted him. He's his old owners had to surrender him because they were allergic. So anyway. Yeah. What a distinguished gentleman. Yes. He was. I kind of took him away. He's waiting for. Terror, yeah. He's waiting for dinner, so he was not really in a patient mood. But anyway, really heavy too. He's nearly 18 pounds, very heavy cat. But he's also just like really like large. He does need to like the vet said he needs to lose some weight, but not like a lot. So like 4 pounds or something, which like isn't. I mean, for a cat, I guess it's a decent amount. I don't know, but he's not like obviously fat or anything. Okay, so let's do export const auth. We'll do sign or auth verify, sign in verify. I think this would be a get, would it not? Would the verification be a get or a post? I think it would be a get, no? I think it would be a get. Or I'll have to verify get. We don't need to sign and verify. We can just do that. I hear him. W adoption. Thank you. He's just big boned. Yeah, he's meowing because he wants dinner. He's getting chicken and gravy right now. Or is it not chicken and gravy?
I'm treating him to chicken and duck tonight.
Chicken and duck. I was wrong. Sorry. We usually give him chicken and gravy. But yes, he is. Yeah, we I think it also makes sense too because like he's litter trained and all these things and can take care of himself. It's less work than a kitten, right? So anyway, all right, let's get to this here. So we need to get the cookie. So that's the first thing we need to do. So we need to get the cookie, get token cookie, and then we need to verify cookie is a session in database. And then we need to do I have a route for that or a query? Select session by token. Yeah, we do. Okay, that's good. Verify token is a session in DB. And then if it is, then we are good. So that's actually all we need, I think. My Instagram handle, I don't use Instagram, Druv. I use X, YouTube, and GitHub. Those are my 3. You can check out my socials here. Sorry, it says please don't ask, but that was just because some people were being rude about asking about LinkedIn and stuff like this. But you can see my social links there. But no, I do not use Instagram. I don't use Snapchat. I don't use Facebook. I didn't use X for a while, but I was, I was like, maybe I need an X. I don't know. I don't honestly use it that frequently anyway. Okay, so let's get the token cookie. Just let me know when you want to come back.
Yes, please.
Right now or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just a second. Okay, you're
Is
good.
it actually on?
Yes, it's actually on.
Oh,
You're welcome. You good?
you're gonna get annoyed that really.
No, it's okay. You're on X, that's fine. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see a need for Instagram, especially for this BenStack project anyway. Okay, so we need to get the cookie. Generate cookie, set cookie. There should be a get cookie, right? Or is it only set and delete? Or is the cookie getting inside of inside of the client maybe? That would make sense actually, wouldn't it? So we need to receive the cookie. So this would need to be a post, right? So this would actually need to be a post. And we need to get the cookie on the client side. Right? Am I crazy? I think that's maybe how that works. React get cookie. Is that a thing? React cookie. Cookies.get. Yeah, okay, so you can do that. That's what I thought. Let's see, React router. Alright, so we can get, this is framework mode though, isn't it? Data. No. Data mode. No, okay. Setting and using cookies. Yeah, so I think it's client side. So we'll actually make this a post from body. Okay, so we'll get the token cookie from the body. So we'll assume that it comes in from the body, right? I guess I think it would need to be in the body. So we'll do that again. Const body is equal to c dot request dot parse body. And then we need to get, so we're going to give it the token. So we're going to say if not body dot token or type of body dot token is not equal to string. Then, okay, so why is this not working? Token does not exist in type promise. Oh, wait. I need to await this, of course. Okay, there we go. And then we'll return an HTTP exception here. Although we probably don't need to throw an exception. We could probably just like send back like you know, we can do a c.json and then message or error, because it's not like a hard error, right? We'll say no token given or something like that. That's fine. Okay, so then we have the cookie, right? Or the token, I mean. Which is from cookie. Verified token is a session. And then, so what we can do is we can then say if we can actually query the, so we have the sessions query, so you need to select session by token. So we need to say const, and then that'll return the record. Okay, so that's fine. So we'll say const session, current, or what should I say, session record is equal to await set query dot select session by token body dot token. Why is this not working? Because we're checking the type of here, body.token. This shouldn't be a string or a file type, right? Because we're checking that it's not a string. Or that it is a string, essentially. Weird. I don't know why that isn't doing that. Oh, because maybe it's throwing an exception instead of, okay, that might be why. It's returning JSON instead of throwing an exception. Maybe we do throw an exception. All right, fine. Throw new exception HTTP. We'll do 401 message auth verification error no token given, something like that. There we go. Session record. And if session record, otherwise we throw new HTTP exception. I think it's HTTP status codes 403 forbidden, 401 maybe, we'll do a 401 as well. Or this will actually be a 400 because it's a bad request. This will be a 401 message auth verification error no matching token found or something like that. And then so if you have the section record, then we can just do c.json success is okay. I think that's all we need. Right? All right, now, or would the token be in the header, I wonder? Don't know. Is there a way to get cookies in Hano. I don't think so. Oh, there is a get cookie. Oh, jeez. Oh, that would have been better than this. Okay, so let's just do this as a get. Okay, let's refactor this. So let's do const token is await or is get cookie. We'll import this. So it does exist. I should have just looked it up. Nope, session token name. Okay. And then we'll say if not token. And then this is just token. Which keyword am I using? It sounds good. I got you. I've got a command for that. All right, now, okay, so we verify that it's in the database, and then if it is, then we're good. Cookie helper. Why wasn't it in this doc then? Oh, it was. Okay. I just can't read, apparently. There we go. Okay. So now we can test that verification. So if we signed out, right? So we'll sign back in. So with the email and the password, sign in. Oh, you know what? This won't work because the this verification is not hooked up to the router, so I need to do that. This needs to be a get. Yeah. Okay. So then auth.get verify, and then we'll do auth verify get. Whoops. So now that's hooked up to the router. So then now we should be able to do this. So if we change this to a get request, auth/verify. It doesn't matter what's in the body. We have that cookie. Okay, so there's an internal server error. So what happened here? Oh, it didn't return a response object. Why? It should have. Or was no session record found? Interesting. Oh, you know what? Oh no. No, we're fine. Auth verify get. Do. So none of these exceptions are hitting. It is not returning a final thing. Oh, because I need to. That's why I need to return. That's it. Okay, now this should work. Perfect. Nice. So it was verified. Cool. And then if we sign out, right? Sign out. 44 not found. Why? Oh, because it's a post. We need a post. Okay, so we signed out, and then if we try to get verification again, then it's going to say their auth verification error, no token could be found. That's what it should say. 400 bad requests, auth verification error, no token could be found. Perfect. Very cool. Nice. Okay, so that's good. So we did that. So create route to verify session, get cookie, check if it exists and it's not expired, and then delete any expired sessions. So that's the other thing we should do. Is in here somewhere we should delete any expired sessions. So I think it's safe to say that these. So So do we have get all sessions from user? Do we test that one? Select session by token. I think we did that. Okay. I just got to think about how I want to do this. Because I need to give the query, so let's say database, delete all expired sessions for user, right? So what we can do is when we sign in, or sorry, when we verify, we can check, we can delete all expired sessions for users. So that's what we can do. So these are done. We did these two already. So we delete all expired sessions for users. So that's another database change, right? So I'm just going to unstage those. So it's another database change. So we have to do that in the database. Export, select all user sessions, delete session by ID, delete expired sessions. Delete expired sessions. Delete user expired sessions. Delete sessions by user ID. By user. Let's do it like that. Expired user sessions, async. Then we'll do the user ID as well. Yo, how's it going, Lubo? Welcome, welcome. All right, so delete all expired sessions. So what we need to do is try catch as well. Again, I'm being lazy about this, but it will throw errors. Just I'm not really customizing it. So then if not ID, return user ID, I should say. Oops. And we'll say const deleted sessions is await. Oh, and the other thing we need is the date. So we need the date as a date, right? Or can I have it in as the same type as the expired at? Expires at? No, that's fine. Okay, so we'll do that. So we need to include the date as well. So we'll say delete sessions is await db.delete session, and then .where equals session.user ID, and then user ID. And I need to put this in an and, don't I? I think I need to do that. So let's look up our Drizzle documentation here. What is the platform to do list you're using? It's Obsidian. It's a free markdown note taking app. Okay. I think there's like, let's see, with clause. There's got to be like filters. Yeah, so we need gray. Okay, so let's do exists, not exists, is null, an array between like we need concatenators, and here we go. So we need to wrap this in an and. So we need to do and then like multiple here. So I'm gonna probably do it like this, and then update import. Okay. And then we're going to need to do a less than, I think. So we're going to say less than session dot expires at and then date. I think that's the right way to do it. So if the expires at is less than the date, so that means it's expired. I think that's right. Yeah. And then we just return the deleted sessions, I think. Right? Doesn't really matter, we don't have to. But this theoretically should work. Now we need a better way to test this. So I think what we can do is we can just modify the, or we can just create some, where was I doing that? In the sign in here. Sign in, just set that, we can set that to 0 temporarily and then run that. So we'll do clean up expired sessions first. But that's by user ID, so we need to actually have the user ID in that verify. So we actually have that as maybe another middleware in the chain. Or I could even do that on sign in, sign out, sign in. Yeah, we could delete expired user sessions. So we could actually do the cleanup here. Clean up any expired sessions. For user. And then we'll just say const expired sessions. Actually, we don't even probably need to do that. We just do wait. Oh, and then we need to export that query, right? What is front-end project programming language? JavaScript, I would say. It's a good one. Okay, so we need to export. So we did, but we just need to include delete expired user sessions inside of our index here. Delete expired user sessions. There, I think that's all of them. This is kind of a mess, but you know. I can clean this up later. To do clean up exports. But that's going to cause a lot of refactoring, so it might be a pain in the ass. Okay, so that's fine. So this is delete expired user sessions should work now. And then we can just do an await query dot delete expired user sessions by the user ID and the date. So then we need the user ID, which is the user record dot ID, and the date, which is a new date. I think that just creates a date of right now, does it not? If I did new date default. Oh, I could do date.now as well. That's actually fine. I could do date.now. Argument is type number is not its own. Oh, because it's a. No, I think new date is fine. That's fine, actually, because it needs to be a date type anyway. Okay, so this is fine. Good. So we'll test that after the break. Cool. The reason I have Drizzle open in Chrome is because I'm using this Drizzle Studio, and Drizzle Studio does not like to work in Brave browser, so Chrome it is for that. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Monday evening / Tuesday morning, wherever you are. Going now, take care. All right, sounds good. Have a good rest of your day. Yes, sir. Thank you as well. It's awesome, Tara. So that's good. So, does this look wrap if I, yeah, okay, it does. Interesting. Which country? I'm Mongolian. I am from Canada. Mongolia might be, you might be the first Mongolian that I've had in the stream. So that's really awesome. Mongolia is a sick country, by the way. It's really cool. Yeah. You can read a bit about me, Lubo, if you want to learn more here in my FAQ. I really should do like a where are you from anonymous poll, because I'd like to see all the countries that you guys are from. Maybe I could do that in like maybe do like a post or something. See how many people reply. Cause it'd be cool to see, you know, how many different countries around the world my audience is representing. I bet it's over 50 at this point, which is really awesome. But yeah. I usually do 2.5 hour long streams. So I usually do 5 pomos. But I think tonight I'm only gonna do 4, only because my apartment's really hot. I've had a long day. It's been Monday, and so I think for myself, I mean, I kind of end it after 4 sessions for tonight. So I'll go on for about another hour. And then, wrap it up. But I'll be live again tomorrow, so, yeah. Just thinking about it, because my apartment's, like, stupid hot, and I just, like, don't feel like grinding for, you have to strike a balance, between quality of life and the grind, I suppose. The other thing I'm thinking of doing is, because I'm doing all this work with auth, when I go back to the file uploader app, I think I'm going to steal this auth code for that, probably. Thank you for streaming. It's motivating as I'm a beginner. Yeah, that's totally what I'm here for, Tara. Like, we're all here to motivate each other. Like, I would also consider myself a beginner too. I mean, maybe more like beginner intermediate, but I've only been doing web development for 6 months. And I mean, I've been coding for longer. Like, I've been coding for probably like nearly 3 years at this point, off and on. But I've only actually been learning web dev since January of this year. So January 20th specifically is the day that I started. That was the day of my first stream. So anyway, but yeah, no, we're all here to motivate each other and create a positive learning environment, especially amidst the shit that is the state of the tech industry right now with AI and everything, right? So okay, so that's good. So we delete the expired user session. So now we can test this, right? So what we'll do is we'll set the generate expiry timestamp to 0, just temporarily. So then we log in. So if we log in again, or sign in, I guess it's sign in. then we do a post to this guy. This will set the cookie. At least it should have done. Oh, because you know why. Oh no, we're deleting expired user sessions and we're setting the cookie. Yeah, so that should have set the cookie. What? Why didn't it set the cookie? Maybe post a sign out here. Do a sign in again. Yeah, weird. It didn't set the cookie. Why didn't it do that? Auth sign in post if session set cookie at path. Oh, because it expires at 0 seconds. That's why. All right. So you know what we need to do? Oh, you know what it is? Okay, hold on. But the cookie didn't go in here, but it did. Go in the. Okay, actually, let's try this again. Try this one more time. So it's not going to appear, right? Because it expires. So it's fine. So we'll sign in, and then we should see the cookie appear as a session here. Okay, so there it is. So it expires 2011. So that's right now. And then what we do is if we post another sign in, it will wipe this cookie and create a new one, right? So we see this cookie's ID is FE7D. So if we do another post here, then this ID should change, and then this timestamp should change a little bit. Yeah, so 00051. Perfect. So so the cookies are being cleared by the delete expired user sessions, which is exactly the behavior that we wanted. So perfect. Nice. So now we're clearing out old sessions when we don't need them. So that's another good behavior that we have. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do those commits. So we're going to put in the database stuff. I think these are the two DB. We're going to do this. We're going to say DB delete all expired sessions from user. And then we're going to delete, so API verify session for user auth, verify session route for auth. And then we're going to say get token as cookie, check token exists in session table, and then delete, or yeah, and not expired. That's it. I think that's all we need for that. There we go. Perfect. So we can remove these guys now. Use GPT-67. Very funny. All right, so now I think we're ready basically to do the API client, right? Because we've got the database done. I think all of the actions that we need for the sign in, for the authentication are finished, right? So I think we're good on that. So we can create an interface for sign up. So this is just basically going to be writing the fetches, right? So we have our API client here, and then we're going to make a new folder for auth. So we're going to say new folder authentication, and then we'll do a new file. We'll say signup.ts, and then this will essentially be a fetch, right? So we'll say export constant sign up, or we'll just say sign up. And it's an async function. And then we need to take in, obviously, the username and password here, right? Or the email and password, I should say. So we're probably going to do all the validation on the client directly. Or do we want to do the validation here? Maybe we do the validation here. So for the API client, we're going to need to get another, we're going to need to import the Zod schemas, right? So we have the user schema, I might not, I don't know if this is used anywhere. Is this used anywhere? Because we can do the validation in the API client layer, I think. Yeah, so we can, okay, so let's do that then. So we'll do a validate given email and password, and then we'll fetch to API sign up route. Right, so those are the two steps that we're going to need inside of here, inside of our API client, right? So we're going to have to do that input validation. But I'm thinking about like what the best way is to do that. So let's open up the Zod, because when we get the data from the API from the client, then we're assuming that it's all sanitized, right? So we'll do that. So we'll go into Zod here. It would be under web development, other resources, no backend validation Zod. Here we go. Okay. So this is our schema. Oh, and then we can parse it, I see. Parse valid input. If it's valid, Zod returns a strongly typed deep clone of the input. Alright, so that's fine. I'm debating whether I define the schema inside of the shared or whether I define it just inside of the API client. Because what I could also do is I could is user schema even being used anywhere? I wonder if this will yell at us anywhere. I don't think so. Okay, so let's just remove that, and then we'll update this, right? So we'll say export const, and then like email user email is equal to z dot email. Right, and then I don't think there's any, let's look up email here. Defining schemas, emails, here we go. So it uses a comparatively strict email regex design to validate normal email addresses. Okay, that's fine. So I think the default pattern's fine. Export const user password, z.password. String. Actually, we're going to need to do a string, but then I think we can do a bunch of tests on that string, right? So we can say So if we do like password validation, no, that's not what we want. So we got a lot here. So we can actually do a regex for a password, right? So we're going to do zstring.regex. And then we can give it a regex. And then we can, so we let's say like common password regex, right? Regex per password must contain at least 8 characters, at least one number, both lower and uppercase letters, and special characters. Okay, minimum 8 characters, at least one letter, one number, one special character. Let's just do like this simple one. So minimum 8 characters, at least one letter and one number. So actually, let's just type this out for the sake of, because I don't really feel like worrying about regexes right now. So then we have, I'm not sure, the question mark is. Oh, it's a greedy quantifier, I see. So question mark equals. So look ahead. Oh, I see. All right, so I'll just take that for, so we do any character repeated any number of times, that's a letter, right? And then we do, and then this is digit, I think, and then contains, and then this is the format. And then it's at least 8 long. So this means it contains at least one letter, contains at least one digit, and is at least 8 characters long. Okay, I think that's right. So that's fine. Okay. And then export const user ID is equal to z.uid, I think, right? So that's fine. So we can leave this like that, and then we can say import as user. What do I call this? I can just call this ID actually. Email password as user from user schema. Schema's user schema, right? And then I can export user. So then that's good. So then we do user.id. User type, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the best way for handling this is, but that's fine. Okay, so then, so we've got that for our ID, email, password. And then we need to import that into our API client. So we need to get an email. That's a string and then a password. That's a string, right? And so what we'll do is we can actually do an errors list here. So we'll say const errors is an empty list. And then we'll say if not email dot parse. Oh wait, you know what? We're gonna need Zod installed at the API client level, right? So we're gonna need to do that. So let's do that. So let's pnpm add filter API client Zod. Okay. We'll self-update it too. There we go. Current project has been updated to use pnpm 11.12, but that's what we wanted. We wanted 11.13, but whatever, it's fine. I don't really care. Okay, so then this parse is coming from. Oh, we actually no. We need to get that type in here. So we need to get that type in here. So we need to do import user. Oh, and then the other thing I need to do is I need to include it as a workspace in API client. So I need to do pnpm add filter API client workspace shared. I think that's fine. Okay, so then I can do import user. What did I have that as? Yeah, import user from shared. Oh yeah, like this. User. Okay, there we go. Now what I can do is I can say if user.email.parse email. So if not, so if that doesn't pass, I think that's what the parse does, right? Surely. Oh, there's a way of doing this error stuff. Okay. Z.string.parse. So validation errors are surfaced as instances of the z.core.zod error class. Interesting. Parse async. I don't think I need to use that. But then what does it return? Oh, okay, so on success it returns. Okay, so then we'll throw a Zod error. Oh, so we can do a try catch here, actually, for this. Catch error, so then we'll say if error instance of z.zod error. I need to import then what error dot issues. That's pretty simple. So we have our error issues here, but then I also want to add to the errors. So what we can do is we can map over the error issues here. So we can do error.issues.for each. But that's kind of lazy. No. Error.issues.path. Yeah, okay, so you know what we can do? Just say if error.issues.path. Oh, because it needs to be, because it's an array of objects, right? Because I basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to return custom error messages, right? I'm just thinking about how to do that with this, right? So I guess we'll do user.parse I don't know what to do, user.email.parse and then email. And we could just actually, you know what, we could just do this at like a individual level here. I wonder if I could do a try catch without the brackets. Probably not. Okay, that's fine. I just want to one line this sucker. And then so we'll say if error instance of z.error, then we'll say errors dot push invalid email address. And we can just do the same for the password. Oh, and then we need to do the password confirm as a string. If password does not equal password confirm, then we'll do errors.push passwords do not match. That's fine. Check given passwords match. Okay, so then we validate given email and password. After that, and then we push to our errors array. So we'll say if errors dot length is greater than 0, then return errors. Otherwise, we can fetch, right? So we'll say const response is equal to fetch at the, I should get the API endpoint. To be honest, I should probably, const export, const API URL, http:// localhost 8080. So that's fine. So we'll get API URL or API URL /auth/signup. And then we need to include our objects and stuff like that, right? So we need to get up that fetch API documentation just to make sure that I'm doing it right. Cool. All right, another 5-minute break. Man, it's hot in here. I kind of want to check the. I kind of want to check the temperature. Hold on. Let me. I'll be right back. And I'm also gonna fill up my water. So give me like 1 minute. Alrighty, I have that little tacky be right back thing just to make sure that people can. It also helps people in the VOD skip when I'm away. So, I don't know. It's really cheesy. I really need to like get my stream shit sorted. I don't know. Streamlabs stuff. I also do want to dual stream, but the thing is, I can dual stream to YouTube and Twitch. However, the free tools to do that are garbage. And Streamlabs has built-in integration for dual streaming, but you have to get Streamlabs Pro, which costs like $20 a month. And this YouTube channel is still not monetized. It's available to be monetized. Like I'm eligible, but at least it's eligible for memberships and super chats and stuff. It's not eligible for AdSense quite yet, but it will be like in the next couple weeks. But anyway, but I haven't gotten around to setting that up, and I also don't really have a concrete plan for a membership strategy. Like I have ideas, but I want to like have something concrete before I, ask people to pay me money for anything, right? So I got to kind of figure that out. But yeah, no, I've still not made a single dollar off of this YouTube channel, which is fine. But again, I don't really want to invest my own money into it until it makes something that I can use to support those kind of things, like whether it's like dual streaming subscription or maybe better equipment eventually. Like the idea is that any money, at least at the beginning, that I make from this YouTube channel, I want to completely reinvest back into making it better. So whether that's like dual streaming or getting better equipment or, that sort of stuff. Even investing in infrastructure like VPS to play with or whatever it is on stream. Like when I get into, I want to teach myself some basic like DevOps CI/CD stuff. At some point, probably after Odin, build some more projects. So that the stream support, I plan on completely reinvesting into the stream, at least for the first however much money. So yeah, because I'm not really in a position where I can invest a lot of my own money into this. That's not, because I need that money to live. But yeah. Forgot to save my secrets to my web app. Now I have to rotate them all. Oh damn. What do you mean by saving secrets? Like, where do they get saved to? All right, let's continue going. All right, so we have this fetch here. And we need to include those headers, right? So content type application / is it going to be sent as JSON? Yeah, it probably will be. And then we need to give it the body, right, as well. No AI, nope, no AI, Bernard. I store them somewhere secure typically, but it was late when I deployed them. Ah, I got you. So I need to give it body. I forgot how to do that because I'm dumb. Not really. This needs to be awaited as well. Await fetch. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So we await fetch. So the headers. And then I need to get the method in here too. So the method is post. Oh yeah, so you just define it like this. Okay, so that's fine. So we have body, which actually needs to go below the headers. Body, JSON dot stringify, and then we'll just construct an object with the email and password, I guess. So that's fine. Oh wait, no, we don't want that. Right, because we take in that email and password, yep. And then that's good. So this is technically insecure because, so what we're doing is we're sending we're not encrypting. This is probably something I could figure out how to rectify, but we're not sending the password to the server encrypted. We're storing it encrypted. Like, so but the encryption of the passwords is on the server. This is like a minor issue that I don't think is a big deal for a little toy project, but like for a bigger deal project, like that would be probably something that we would need to do. We'd probably need to send the password encrypted or something, right? So that it can't, this can't be intercepted or whatever. I don't know. So that's, whatever. So we're just sending it raw, like plain text, and then we're doing the encryption on the server side, which is fine for this because I don't really care about that. So okay, so then we have our response. Full it. So we'll say if response dot okay, then we'll throw an error. So we'll say throw new error response status response dot status, and then we'll get the results. Const results is equal to await response.json, and then we'll log that as well. Oh, we also probably need to try catch this as well. Console.error.message. Just throw it, honestly. It's fine. Okay. And then we can log that console result, right? I forget what we wanted to use for the logger. There was a thing. I think it was like Pinot. That's for the API. Okay. That's fine. So we have a result here. And then just return result, I guess. Sure. That's fine. All right, so this is our sign up API client, right? So it's fine. So now if we call this with these, we could probably do a test somewhere for this, but the test ultimately will be the front end, I suppose. But I should probably test this before I finish. So I'm trying to think about the best way of going about that. I guess I could just make a test suite or something with the API client, but I don't really use like Jest or something, but I'm just thinking about it. Let's see. I don't really want to bother with a bunch of testing stuff though. How did you manage to get to use not using AI? How did you manage to get used to not using AI? I'm building a project with Nest without using AI, but it's really tough when you run into a bug. How are you handling it? Perseverance. No, that's kind of, yes, perseverance, but also I think for me, it's kind of understanding that if you run into a problem, you have to be okay with the thing being broken for longer than you know, a few minutes. Because I think these days with AI, the fact that AI is there, right? You know it's there. It's almost like a temptation, right? So because you know, okay, the AI is there, it can solve it probably or whatever, and maybe it doesn't, right? But at least you offload. You can like cognitively offload that problem solve, right? But I think when you don't use it enough, you kind of don't have the temptation anymore, and then that kind of helps you stick through problems. And also, like for me, like I you know, if a problem's taking too long to solve, I'll sometimes pivot and work on something else for a little bit, or I'll even like literally scrap it, you know, or I'll refactor. Like instead of solving the one problem, maybe I try to avoid that problem being a problem by like refactoring or whatever. So like I get around it that way. I don't like. I feel like the thing with AI, especially people that use it that don't maybe understand it, is that they kind of feel like everything needs to be brute forced. And I could be wrong with this because I don't use AI, but I feel like they have the sense that like, okay, if something's not working, you just got to bash it until it works, right? But when you don't have AI, sometimes you have to come up with more creative solutions, which a solution in some case might be refactoring to completely change the functionality of the thing that wasn't working, right? But like AI might not necessarily do that because it's so honed in on getting a result, right? So I think that kind of, what do I call it? Like fluid thinking is important to kind of deal with like large problems. And if the problem is big enough and it's frustrating enough and multifaceted enough, like for me anyway, that's why I created my own stack, because I was dealing with you know, some full stack frameworks like React Router v7 and you know, even other things, and it was just frustrating to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own stack with my own rules, right? And I don't know. So that's kind of like my thing. All right, I got to turn off my camera for 1 second. All right, you good? Sorry, my girlfriend just you know doesn't want to be on camera, so I turn off my camera when she walks behind. So anyway, amazing. Keep crushing, bro. I appreciate that, Bernard. Try my best, because again, I want to be like, my goal is to be like an actual like a software developer, not just a vibe coder that doesn't understand anything that's going on with the code. So yeah, and just like knowing the technologies, like again, like using AI, right? And the thing is if you have that, I'll say one more thing, is if you have that fluid problem solving ability, you can work with AI to solve problems instead of getting the AI, you know, like whipping it, you know, essentially like, you know, being entirely beholden to its success, right? So instead you could be like, how about, you know, you could do a smart prompt and say like, how about considering this workaround or whatever. But if you're a vibe coder, you won't even like know the architecture of the project you're building, so you won't know to prompt it that way, right? I feel like AI has a lot more utility as like a skilled developer that can solve problems without AI, right? I don't know. That's just my kind of 2 cents on that. Anyway, what were we doing here? I forget what I was. I forget what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was gonna do that. Testing this sign up thing, right? So I need to make some sort of like runner of some sort, right? So maybe I do a testing library. I don't know. Testing library for TS. Maybe. Oh, is it literally just this? So maybe I'll put this inside of that's for React though. No. I don't want React. I guess I could just use Jest, right? Jest testing TypeScripts, maybe? I haven't done testing in a minute. Okay, so let's just add that here. All right, so let's do auth and then tests. Or no, don't rename that. New folder, tests. And then I'll do like I'll install that. So I'll say pnpm add filter API clients jest. I need this to be a development dependency. Okay, so that should now have fixed. Okay, so we have jest installed. So let's write some tests now, just to test the sign up, right? So let's do that. So we get the email, password, and password confirm, right? So we'll do our tests, and we'll say sign up dot tests dot test dot ts. Can I make this TypeScript? Using TypeScript. Oh, because I want the okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this actually. It's ts jest, so I'm gonna have to do. Okay, so let's get this in here. So we need Babel apparently. Shit. Terminal. Okay, so pnpm add filter API client Babel / preset TypeScript, and then that's in a babel.config. Probably have to approve. Oh no, we don't. Interesting. So the Babel config even. Okay. And add Babel preset TypeScript to the list of your presets in your Babel config.js. Oh, I need to use Babel too. Okay, so that's fine. So I need to use Babel jest, Babel core. And that should add the Babel. 2 deprecated subdependencies. Still no Babel config. Oh, okay, in the root of your project. Okay, so module.exports. Babel.config. Oh wait, no, not in there. Inside of API client. Alright, so that's fine. Okay, so then we have our TypeScript preset, which we need to put inside of this. So then at Babel / preset TypeScript. Did I install that too? I did, okay. And then we can install jest here. So pnpm add ts jest and at jest / globals. Okay. Nice. So that's good. Now we'll test this. Test the tests. We'll say tests jest. So we'll say sign up. .test.ts. Okay. And then we'll okay, so we just write a test. So let's just do a test that it works. Let's just do 1 + 1 is 2. Just to see. Okay, so we'll say expect. Whoops. And then we need to import these two. Oh no. Cannot find name test. Install type runner. I'm going to say type jest. Okay, so I need to install the type jest. Oh, I thought I already did that. At types. At types jest. Interesting. Okay, so we have the types in here. Import test from jest globals, right? Okay, so expect, we'll just do like a function. Or something like this, right? And then dot to be 2. Like, I think that's fine. Or actually, let's do this. Const sum AB number. I don't really need to do all this, but so we'll just do sum 1 1. Okay. And then we'll run this test just to see that it even works. And then we'll say pnpm run filter. Actually, just so we don't have to do all that. And then the test slash sign up dot test dot ts. I don't know if this will work. Shit. Command not found. Why? Jest. Command not found. Interesting. I don't know why this isn't working. I've Coder's Journey. I kind of am taking a side quest here, doing a little bit of testing. So we're not exactly using. Okay, so then just yes. Okay, I can't find the command. Oh wait, because that's where packages slash API client. Okay, it's just in here? No, okay, so that's not good. So it's not inside of the I need the just CLI reference is what I really need. CLI. Let's see. Jest pattern is not case insisted. Okay. This is the API. That's not necessarily what we want. Yeah, I don't know. Because I think that's how that would work, right? Oh, I wonder. Yeah, because okay, so Jest doesn't run. Sum.test. Running from command line. You need to install Jest directly from the CLI. Do you add it to your scripts? What do you mean? I need to add it globally, I think. pnpm add Jest as well. I think I need to also add it as a dependency. I forgot about that. But it doesn't need to be global necessarily. Pnpm add Jest maybe. Yeah, I might need to just add Jest even if I have the TypeScript version. I didn't think of that for some reason. Okay, so now that should maybe work. So does Jest, let's see, pnpm run filter API client tests. Okay, so the test failed, but it did run. So that's good. Module is not defined in ES module scope. Ooh. Okay, so let's rename it to CJS here. Okay, so that's but it did run though, presumably. Okay, nice. Cool. There, our test worked. Nice. 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. So now we can, test our sign up compatibility function, right? So essentially, this is going to be what the this sign up function is going to be what's called by the front end to talk to the back end. So essentially, you have the front end talks to the API client, which talks to the API backend, which talks to the database. That's how I've layered it. It's pretty crazy, but it should be fine. And then so you're also doing all of the input validation inside of this API client as well, using a shared type, shared Zod type here. So that's fine. It's probably not the best, cleanest method, but that's good. So yeah, cool. I'm gonna go for I think one more session maybe. Actually, hold on. Let me just ask if I can. All right, I'm good to go for one more session. Cool. I was gonna stop, but I'm kind of on a roll right now, so I'm gonna keep going for one more Pomo session. So that's good. So after this break, we're going to add this sign up and then write some tests for it. I'm actually going to add that to my to-do. Is this React? No, this is just TypeScript with Jest. So, but React is in the front end, yes. PTM Lewis. So I have a React. I can kind of give you, if you want to see the stack at a glance. So I'm using my own stack for this. So let me go to my GitHub. So let's go to my stack, which is called BenStack, funnily enough. I actually named myself before I knew I was ever going to actually make my own stack. But essentially, you've got React VDApp for the web app, and then you've got a Hano app for the API, which I'm using instead of Express because it's a little bit more modern, and I like the syntax. And then I'm using Postgres and Drizzle for the database. And then a shared package for Zod schemas and types, and then this API client, which I'm working on right now, which is just a layer between the web and the API, and it's just TypeScript, just to handle the fetches, the fetch stuff. Loving the stream. I appreciate that, William. But yeah, so that's kind of how I've structured this out. And this is my own stack because I was learning with some full stack frameworks and just kind of building my own stacks ad hoc on stream. And it was kind of really, I found it really confusing. So I was like, you know what? I got sick last week, so I used that time off streaming to kind of plan and make my own stack that I'm now testing with building a to-do app. So I'm building a to-do app to test the stack, essentially. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Okay, so now we got Jest set up. So now, yeah, I can test this kind of API client. If you want to play with him, you can play with him.
I don't know, he's in a mood right now.
My girlfriend wants to play with our cat. He's in a mood. Why is he in a mood?
I don't know, he's meowing at me.
Oh. Cats. I feel like cats are always grumpy. I don't know.
It's just what the internet wants you to think.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's also just my observation. Pretty interesting. Are you interested in taking a step further using JSON Web Tokens for authentication? Interesting you mentioned that, William. I did create a previous, it was just backend with templating, but I did create an auth system using JSON Web Tokens already. What made you learn web dev? Have you been a dev before that already? Yeah, so I have a degree in computer science that I got over 2 years. I did it in an accelerated because I had a previous degree, so I could do the degree in 2 years instead of 4. So I did a lot of programming in that degree, but it was all theory, right? So it wasn't. It was like more like it was programming, but it was also data structures and algorithms. It was discrete math. It was calculus, statistics. These sorts of things, right? Which are great, and they gave me a really solid foundation. But I didn't learn any actual web dev skills or actual how to develop software to begin with. We didn't learn anything related to that in my program at least. So I wanted to take it upon myself to actually learn that. So yeah, that's why I'm here, and I've been doing this for almost 6 months now. And we've gained over 2,100 subscribers in just under 6 months, which is fantastic. So it's very cool. Is it hard to get a job in web dev? I would think so, Riz, but I haven't actually started trying. I currently have a job in IT, which is secure, and I need to rely on that income to live. So I'm not really at the point right now where I want to make that career transition, but I think in a year or two I'll be ready. So I haven't really been looking for jobs. I've kind of just been sitting in my 9 to 5, at least for right now. I don't know, that might change in the future. I want that to change, in fact. I don't want to be in this job forever, but I'm doing this on the side of working full-time to upskill and improve my software development skills as a whole, and I just kind of decided to start with web development. What advice would you give a teenager beginning web development and wants to create a career out of high school? Well, I think it's kind of tricky because, I was in high school. When did I graduate high school? I graduated high school 8 years ago. Okay, so almost a decade ago. AI wasn't even it didn't exist, in any capacity that it does today. But I'm trying to think. I think learning the fundamentals is really important. There's a lot of kids your age, I think. I don't know for sure because I'm, significantly older. Well, not significantly older, but older enough, I guess. I don't know. But I think a lot of kids your age are really using AI a lot, and I think that's good. But I think it's also you shouldn't lose sight of learning the fundamentals. So I think with having a focus on the fundamentals is really important to become a good developer and not kind of get sucked down the vibe coding trap. I think I would call it a trap because you're not actually learning how these technologies work. So I think if you're passionate enough and you go to school for a computer science rank, yeah, you're on the right path in that case. I think, yeah, it's just, I think you got to learn the skills first, and then you can kind of course, transition into a job from that. There's always, I think there's going to be a demand for engineers and developers that actually understand the technologies that they're working with and not just blindly orchestrating a bot, right? Because anyone could do that, right? That's awesome, man. I myself graduated in SWE boot camp recently, coming from a background in finance. Nice. Currently trying to learn how everything works to a T. It's cool to see you striving to learn. Yeah, I really appreciate that, William. And, that's really awesome that you kind of have, it seems like you kind of have a similar goals to me. So that's really fun. Finance is cool, though. I'm going to be honest with you. My finance knowledge is high school business class. Like, that's about it. I didn't go into finance. Actually, if you want to know a bit of my history, because I'm assuming a lot of you here are new, I actually have an undergraduate degree in biology, and that was what I wanted to do first. I wanted to be a biology teacher when I was out of high school, 8 years ago. But I decided pretty quickly that, the pandemic hit, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if the whole biology thing is going to work out because I don't really want to be a teacher. I don't want to go into grad school. So, around 2022, I was thinking, okay, I want to make a pivot, and it was right before, GPT came out and all the, the AI disaster kind of started. But I was like, I want to make a pivot to computer science. So I did, and then in 2023, I started my computer science degree, graduated that in 2 years, which I could only do because I had that previous degree. And and then here I am. I've been working in IT for a year. I started this YouTube channel. So anyway, there's my little spill. It's very good that you use TypeScript. Yeah, I figured I would, Omri, because I understand static typing. Because in my degree, we learned, principles of programming languages, types. We also built like a mini compiler in Python, these sorts of things, which are great for learning theory. But again, that's fair, TBH. Also, biology is scary from what I heard about the class at university. Yeah, I actually took kind of like the, because there's like two levels of there's like two streams in biology. There's like the pre-med biology, which is scary. I agree with you, but my biology was more like forestry, ecology, lab research, like that kind of stuff. Like bigger biology, kind of like animals, plants, that sort of thing. Fundamentals are important for sure, but the more I use AI, the more I think actually coding is not really needed anymore. That's totally fair, Seth. I think, again, it's less about actually coding and more about kind of understanding software architecture, right? But the coding, digging into the code and doing it by hand is how you get that appreciation for the architecture. At least that's how I view it. But that very well may be true. And I think, again, where I want to get to eventually is to get to a place where I can work with AI to do those kind of more menial tasks like writing tests or even implementing a function, but me being the human in the driver's seat, understanding the architecture, I can kind of go in and, design it, right, and have a hand in it. I think that's kind of what but to do that, I see myself having to learn how to actually code. And senior devs that just jumped on AI from the beginning had that knowledge, right? That's awesome. And also, any serious company, they expect you to use TypeScript, not JS. Yeah, exactly, Omri, exactly. That's why learning systems are just as important as ever. If AI gives you code, how will you understand what AI is doing in your projects or company applications? Yeah, exactly, 100%. Or like legacy code, right? I think AI is nice, but you will always need someone with dev knowledge. Yep, totally agree. Because again, a non-dev, what value are they adding that anyone could do, right? Like a manager could just do the job of like 10 junior devs by orchestrating, whatever, like vibe coding essentially, right? So what's your use? But I still think that being said, I still think there is a desire for this understanding of higher level architecture and software engineering in general, because otherwise, like, I don't think the AIs are at the point yet, or the AI models are at the point yet where they can be completely let loose. They have to be kind of reined in and used, and that's why they kind of say like, okay, well, maybe there's only jobs for senior engineers, but I think senior engineer, the requirement, it's going to kind of change from like senior engineer to like just knowledgeable engineer at all, right? So yeah, very well it may be true that the junior engineer job is kind of destroyed or shifted into more of a role where like the junior engineer instead of just writing code actually has to understand architecture a little bit more than maybe they used to 10 years ago, right? Something like this, right? So junior devs coming in maybe have to have a little bit more architectural knowledge than they may have used to 5-10 years ago. I don't know. That's my kind of hunch. Anyway, I'm also not an expert. This is just totally my, opinion. But anyway, okay. So let's get back into writing these tests here. So let's do a test run for valid credentials. So valid sign up credentials. Okay. So we'll run sign up. Which will import from the auth there, and then we'll include our email password. So we'll say our email is test@abc.xyz, and then we'll just do password, and then to be, and then I think it's just success. Okay, because that's what it returns when it succeeds, right? So this test should pass with these credentials in here. So we can test that. To be fair, I think it was even more fun when we used to write code by hand. Now it's very monotonous. Yeah, that's totally fair, Omri. I recommend you use SQL and force you to know database relationships are good practice. Oh, dude, I already used SQL like in previous streams, and I also used it in my degree as well. So I have plenty of SQL knowledge, and I'm also using Drizzle too. So if I go to my database here, like I built my database here, right? So I've got my schemas. So I have like the users table, where this is very SQL-like, right? And the sessions as well. And then I've got the queries here. And the queries are very SQL-like as well. So you're like doing like a select from table where, so like Drizzle, at least I find, is very SQL-like. And then you can even see it in the generated migration here. Oh wait, no, not that one. Or maybe there's no query, nothing for the queries. Yeah, but you see this, yeah, it's very similar. SQL is awesome, yeah. I think it is. Yeah, it's quite similar. Yeah, exactly. But no, we did do a lot of SQL. If you go back to stream, I want to say like 80s, like mid 80s, or like day mid 80, whatever. In my VODs, we did like 10 hours of just raw SQL. So like I hammered out some pretty complex queries. Now those are fun days. Okay, so let's test this. Let's test this guy here. Okay, so it didn't work. Now I want to know why it didn't work. So import signup, cannot find auth signup.js. Oh, because we haven't compiled it. That's why. It hasn't been compiled. We need to compile this guy. So I think we need to do a build. I think if I do TSC, I think that builds it for the whole thing, right? So if I do that, so if I do pnpm run filter API client build. Okay, so that didn't, holy shit. That is not what I wanted to do. Uh-oh. Okay, where did it build to? Oh no, did that just build across the whole everything? Oh no. It did. I made these declarations across everything. Oh no. That's a pain in the ass. Oops. That's not good. That was a little reckless. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to clean that up after. I'm just noticing now you don't have the tsconfig files. Yeah, I have this one in the root. Okay, so I have to fix that. That was my bad. I had to build it, but I should have been way more specific with this script here. Or was this? Yeah, no, that was. Why did that run in the whole root context? I'm confused. Anyway, you need them per app package. Got you. I'll work on that after stream. What do you think of leak code interviews nowadays? I think they are kind of a pretty cheap way of assessing knowledge. I think especially as the AI is come around, right? They're kind of less and less useful. I think having more, as I say, like software architecture questions is more important. Oh, you need them per. That's why that just happened. Interesting. Oh. Okay, thanks, Jay. All right, so I got to go through and like delete all these. I think leak code is just terrible. It shows nothing despite how much the person has grinded leak code. Yeah, exactly, right? Because you could be given a like let's say you haven't done max flow problems with like graph theory, and and you've done everything else, but you just missed that one problem type. Then you're fucked, right? And it's just unlucky. Okay, so let's fix this. Is there an easy way of fixing this? Because this is like a disaster. I need to fix this. I don't know. Is there a way I can like undo that? Probably not. But no, you make a good point. I wasn't thinking about the tsconfig, Jay. That's valid. I was too locked in on the other side. Okay, so that's fine. A sad thing is, it's only one thing which can get you to Fang. Dude, I really cracked my whole NVIDIA interview. Any question they asked, I knew, but I failed only could. Yeah, that's tough. There's not a way to undo that easily. Yeah, okay, that's just my negligence. Okay. Well, I'll just like go in and delete everything. You never even did one in your life? Ah. Yeah. I think, well, the fact that you got an NVIDIA interview is really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so let's go through these and delete all of these. Delete all of these here. So I'm just gonna go through and delete all these files, these declaration files. But it probably created a bunch of JS files as well, did it not? Ah, yeah. And the map ones. Oh, son of a bitch. That's annoying. I would say look at the green text. Those are the new files. Yellow text are modified. Yeah. Yeah, so I need to delete, essentially. Are there ways of, like... Okay, open file. Can I, like, delete the file? Because if I discard changes, does that delete it? Oh, it moves it to trash. Okay. All right, so let's just, yeah. All the questions I know about syscalls, interrupts, threads, I knew so well. Yeah, that's totally fair. Okay, that was a dumb mistake of it being warm, and it's also the last Pomo session. But no, I mean, shit, like, the fact that you got NVIDIA's, like, that's just a big deal, man. I'm just gonna delete all these. Delete. Okay, so it's fine. Oh, we still have, we need those, we need to get rid of the JS one. There's probably a way of doing this more easily with like a grep or something. Signup.ts, no. Okay, we delete that. Delete this. Okay, so that's fine for the packages, I think. Yeah. All right, delete this. Main.js. No, I probably have to keep that. Routes. Use Finder and look at the date added. Yeah, I could do that too. I'm just gonna do it manually. I don't really care. You have 3 years of experience or even more. I even make videos about programming. I have a 5-hour backend course on my channel. But they only cared about the leak code, it seems. Oh, I got you. Oh, so you make YouTube videos. That's awesome. Sort by most recent, yeah. That would be here, right? So is there a selector for recent stuff? Sort by recent. No. 'Cause these are regex, right? So, VS Code. Sort files by recent. Or by date, I guess. By date. Oh, it's on. Oh, it's not in VS Code. I thought there was a VS Code function for that. Okay, yeah, I could do that as well. Good idea, actually. Yeah, I think again, Omri, to kind of get to that point. Yeah, I think leak code it's just like a litmus test, right? It's just like are you smart? And it's like an IQ test. It's like a shitty IQ test. But it's not really going to be, I don't think it's going to be relevant, in the future as much. I don't know how much companies are going to change that, because it's really easy to just ask an elite code question instead of ask like complex architecture stuff, right? I don't know. It sucks, man. I hope it won't. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to, where were we on this? It was in web projects, V1 to do, and then apps. And we could sort by date here. Date modified. Okay, yeah, so we can delete all these. So main.d. So I think I can just do this, huh? Because I don't need the JS or the d.ts. I just need the routes in the main. I think in the index. Index.css. Is there anything that I don't want to delete here? Main.d.ts.map. Main.js, routes.js. I think that's fine. I think we can get rid of all these. Or maybe not. I don't know. Any JS file you can delete? Do you use Express for backend? I use Hano, actually, Omri. Yo, how's it going, Sied? Any JS file I can delete? Okay, so let's delete the JS files and the JS map files. That's fine. Okay. Delete. And then this one as well. Okay. So that's that gone. And then so we can go. I think that's fine. I'll probably honestly do this after stream. I'll do this after stream. But yeah, no, I've been using Hano. I think I'm just gonna probably just chat for the rest of the stream, honestly. Kind of. I don't know. It's really hot in my apartment. It's like 83 degrees Fahrenheit, or like 29 Celsius. Never heard about it. Yeah. So basically, here I'll walk you through it. So essentially, it's like Express, but it's like Express, but with a better syntax, and it doesn't do the request response arguments. It kind of bundles those two into like this context, which is kind of cool. So I've only been using it for a couple days. Try using Axios later. It's awesome. Yeah. So essentially, what I'm doing with this API client is I'm almost like I'm building my own Axios, because Axios is like a compatibility, or it's like makes using fetches easier, right? I think. So what I'm doing here is I'm writing the fetches inside of these functions that I can then use for in the front end, right? So I can just call like API client.signup or whatever, right? Which skills would you recommend for a beginner software engineer? It depends where you want to go with it. And yeah, I think also working with the direct like fetch API, like the fetch API. This is like really good to understand like HTTP fetch, right? And like know what's actually happening like with the HTTP stuff, right? Wrapping via functions is awesome. Yeah, that's kind of this whole thing. Like my whole stack is like front end and then this API client, which then kind of consolidates all of the validation and the fetching, and then the API, which is Hano, and then the database under that. Also learn Kubernetes and Docker. Yeah. That's coming. I'm gonna learn all that stuff. I want to do a after I build a couple more projects and finish off the Odin project, which is like the web development curriculum I've very loosely been following. The goal is to build a couple full stack apps myself and teach myself like CI/CD DevOps stuff with like Docker and like that sort of stuff. Kubernetes, that sort of, you know. But anyway, let me get back to your question. Which skills would you recommend? Yeah, it depends where you want to go. Web dev, front end web dev, get the fundamentals, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Learn maybe TypeScript as well if you want. React is pretty important for front end. For back end, really you can kind of do anything. You could do JavaScript as well. You could do Python like Django. I think Fast API is one of them, or you could do PHP, Laravel, Golang. Like there's a lot of different ones you can do. That's just for web development. But if you want to just learn like development, like how to be a Flask maybe also. Yeah, I forgot about that one. If you want to just learn like development, get good at Python, like DSA stuff. How about Python as the first programming language? I think it's a really good programming language for absolute beginners. The only thing you're not getting with Python is you're getting all the logic, right? You're getting all the logic, like if statements, loops, functions, object-oriented programming, all these things. The one thing that I think you're missing is static typing. And you can use Python type annotations as like kind of like a foray into static typing, but I think if you really want to get into static typing and like understanding computers at a lower level, like C is where you want to go as well. Because in my degree, we use a lot of C, especially for like operating system stuff. Like we use C to learn like how processes worked on like Linux and stuff like that, right? Like that sort of stuff, like with forking and like syscalls and that sort of stuff. And like how memory management, like basic memory management stuff, like allocating memory and freeing it and stuff like that. Do you think it's a mistake for me to send NVIDIA link to my channel? To send NVIDIA link to my channel, can it come out as rude from their perspective? C, nice. I honestly don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I need to check out your channel after, Omri. I definitely will check out your channel afterwards. There's actually a chance I've already seen you before. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like I've watched. I might be tripping, but I feel like I've watched one of your videos. Actually, now that I think about it, because I was watching a video on somebody. Yeah, I was watching a video on somebody talking about interviewing. It was about an interview for, I don't know if it was NVIDIA, but basically talking about like how they kind of didn't perform well on LeetCode, but they had all the technical stuff down, like for the like what you were mentioning earlier. Where was that? Like all the syscalls, interrupts, threads, like all that stuff. Like you had all that knowledge, but you were talking about LeetCode, and I was actually listening to that. I don't know if it was you though, but I was listening to somebody's video about that. Oh, you did make a video about that? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was you or not. Okay. Yeah, it was somebody similar, I guess. They had a similar idea where they were applying to big tech, and they were talking about kind of their interview and how they got a. I don't know if they got a job or not, but anyway. I thought maybe I've seen your video or not, but I don't know. I'll definitely check out your channel after. Guess it happens to tons of people. Yeah, it probably does. No, I'll check out your stuff for sure. Fellow YouTuber, I guess. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for me. It's getting kind of late. It's 9:30 p.m. here. Where am I from? I'm from Eastern Canada. You can read a bit of my FAQ here. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna end it for tonight. I'm gonna fix the oopsie that I made here, and you know, if you want to see more of me, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. I stream 4 to 5 times a week, live. You know, the honest process, and join the Discord if you'd like as well. Well, I appreciate you. Awesome. Thank you so much. You can join the Discord too for stream updates and to just chat with my community, that sort of stuff. If that doesn't interest you though, no problem. It's just there. And I will see you all tomorrow evening, same time, 7 p.m. So thanks for watching, and yeah.